Hi, my name's Megan, and I'm here for vocab.com. Today I'm talking to polyglot Jimmy Mello, who runs several blogs and websites, teaches English, Spanish, Italian, Portuguese, and French, and has his own method for teaching languages, the Mello method. How are you doing today, Jimmy?
I'm doing great, Megan. How about you?
I'm doing pretty well. And
Okay.
where are we talking to you from today?
Yes, and now I'm in Brazil. I live in Brazil, and I run, as you said, a language school in a city. It's the third biggest city of Brazil. Is Belo Horizonte.
Mhm. And you're Brazilian, is that
Yeah,
right?
I'm Brazilian, and still I say that I'm half Brazilian and half Spanish because my family came from Catalonia, so I'm half Catalan and half Brazilian. But I grew in Brazil.
Okay. And how many languages do you speak in terms of that you've mastered and that you're currently learning?
This is a tricky question because I don't like to say that I can teach those languages. I have said that is Spanish, English, French, Italian, and Portuguese. So I have a high level on them that we call C1, C2. I also, from level B, that is intermediate, I have German, Catalan, Esperanto, that's a little bit C as well, Dutch on a basic level of Polish. And I have been studied several languages, and so I generally say that my list generally changes every year because to learn a language is very easy, but to maintain the language is different. And
Mm,
so from time to time, this list changes.
okay.
And so I love languages, and this will depend on a lot of things. So generally, I like to say that I speak 10 to 11
Oh,
languages.
that's very impressive. And how long have you been teaching the languages,
Okay,
English or Portuguese?
20 years.
20 years.
I started when I was 15 years old
Hmm.
because a long time ago in Brazil, we had no teachers for Spanish teachers, in fact. And so, even being a child, I was 15 years on that time. Everybody hired me because Spanish, we had the Mercosur, and it was a kind of united, how to say that in Europe?
I like the.
European Union
Uh-huh.
this here, and so people were looking for teachers to teach Spanish, and so I started to teach in a language school, but I didn't like the method, and so I said, "Wow, why don't make something better than that? Because this method is not working." And
Mm.
so for 20 years, I have been teaching languages.
Okay, and so what has worked for you in terms of learning languages but also teaching the languages?
Okay, for me, to learn a language, you really have to use the language.
Mm.
I don't believe that you can learn a language with grammar.
Mm.
Grammar is absolutely useless at the beginning.
Mm.
It's very useful when you are on the upper intermediate or advanced levels because after you can cut the edges, but you have really to learn how to speak. And so for me, for my students, I focus on speaking from day one. Our
Mm.
method is focused on speaking from day one. You can produce a lot of things if you read some comments or things like that on my website. People generally say that it's the perfect method to speak from day one. So this is how it works. And what doesn't work is grammar. If you start with grammar, you will fail.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard there's a lot of people that say the same thing, but they're also very
Yes.
negative towards grammar. So,
Yeah. Is it grammar completely useless? No, but there is a right time to
okay.
learn it. Yeah.
Oh, very good. So with the Mello method, it's all about speaking from day one.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. We have only conversation,
Okay.
conversation, and conversation. It's a guided conversation, but during the 15 minutes, we only learn vocabulary
Mhm.
and structures, and we are going to produce and produce and produce.
Okay.
And we just generally we just use the target language and just provide the translation. I say table,
Mhm.
and then I say the translation for it in the language that is mesa or something like that.
Okay. And what do you think is the best way to learn vocabulary? at vocab, we work with flashcards,
Yeah.
and we found that it's a pretty effective way to learn vocabulary. What do you think?
Yes, okay. I think to my students, they say to me, how can I learn vocabulary? I
Mm,
say there is no other way besides flashcards.
mm,
You can either use a ready-made flashcard that you can purchase in some bookshops, or you can make your own. Or now we are in a partnership with Voc app, and we are producing now the vocabulary of Mello method and putting them on Voc app, the app itself, and people are enjoying it quite a lot because it has that how do they call that? RS, I don't know what, that it is an intelligent system that
mm.
knows the words you know and review in the right time. And we are still on the beta phase, but my students are loving it. And so the only way to learn vocabulary is using flashcards.
Oh, great.
Okay.
Okay.
You can use
Oh.
paper flashcards or Voc app flashcards, and it's a good idea. It's the only way to learn vocabulary.
Wow, sounds wonderful. Well, thank you so much for sharing your tips and knowledge about learning languages with
My
us
pleasure.
today. And do you have any last words for any language learners out there that need some motivation?
Okay, yes, okay. So I'd like that people stay motivated. This is other key. Yes, I think that motivation is the key factor to learn a language. If you are not motivated enough,
Mm,
give up and change the language. Maybe
yeah.
sometimes say, I want to learn a language because of my job. But if you are not motivated enough, you are never. You can use the best method, you can use the best app, but you will never learn it. So get motivated, try to create a connection between the language and the people. For example, I'm learning Polish because I love Polish people, I love Poland, and so I have this connection with Poland. So
Okay.
this is the best way.
Well, thank you so much. And
My
good
pleasure.
luck.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.